Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 22.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let's go.
All right. So we are talking about Coyote Pass first. So Meri did eventually get a lawyer, but she still doesn't want to have to use the lawyer.
What's the point?
Yes. Janelle would like to get her money out of it, but she has to wait for Kody to make a move because his name is on all of the properties, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
Janelle is on the 4-acre and 2-acre plot of land, and Meri is only on the 4-acre plot.
Yeah.
So when they signed the documents, Meri questioned the split, but Kody shut everything down.
Mm-hmm.
And Janelle agrees that Kody would make them feel like you're not a team player if you didn't go along with whatever the plan was.
Okay.
They all worked together, did everything for the family. Janelle even had to pay off debt that she used in order to support the family.
What is your thoughts?
I do want to say one more additional thing. Kody said that was kind of later on in the episode that he spent like $160K more into Coyote Pass than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that because we all were together in this relationship, now that we're all divorced, you guys can't kind of penny pinch as far as what you want from the marriage, you know? And I feel like Kody, no. Even in, monogamous relationships, when you get a divorce, you do divide assets.
Mm-hmm.
You don't leave with absolutely nothing unless there's some type of prenup or postnup to where you agree that that might be the case. But typically, if you amass things in the marriage, you leave with something.
Yeah.
So I just don't like the fact that, number one, Kody is on every single plot of land. The ladies went along with it, and I just feel like they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I do think that when you are in a marriage, you do things for the team effort and the betterment of everyone. But I just taking the word of somebody when there's so many people involved, I just don't think that's the wisest decision. I think that everything should be in writing and you should benefit off of whatever's in writing. For them to just go along to get along in order for the relationships to stay as cohesive and calm as possible, even though it was going to erupt into a volcano eventually, it really did them a disservice to not really have things plainly written down. And I feel like if you don't have a, marriage recognized by like your state or some type of like government recognized marriage, because even those have certain protections when you get a divorce. The governing party will help you divide or say whatever your dividends or whatever there might be within the divorce. But if you have nothing but a spiritual marriage, nobody's going to recognize anything about your relationship. So
Meri says she has a lawyer, but she don't want to use it, right? Janelle over here basically saying, like, I can't do nothing without Kody, right? And then you basically have Kody on every plot of land, and basically everybody got a pitch in, but when it's over, everybody leave with what you came with. That makes no sense. And I'm tired of blaming Kody. Because here's the thing about it: the whole idea of Coyote Pass and things like that. It's not like all the marriages was in a perfect place, was in a beautiful place, and then all of a sudden, right when we got to Coyote Pass, you start seeing like the cracks in everybody's marriage. They was never really on one accord.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of that, okay, we're not on one accord, so we're going to do this big project, even though with these other small projects where we was living in other places and things like that, and like we couldn't get along and we couldn't get on one footing, but we're going to do this big project to where we're going to buy a plot of land and we're going to build on it. And even during the process, they couldn't even agree on what they wanted. I remember the episode where Christina's like, I don't really want this. And Meri said she had a problem because all of it's like, I think her property was like mostly trees or something like that. And I'm just like, but you agreed. Like eventually, like there comes a point to where I understand that legally at the time, there was a time where he was married to Meri, his first wife, and then he divorced her and things like that. And then he legally got married to Robyn because he wanted to adopt the children and things of that nature, right? But at the end of the day, I don't see how y'all was already not in a perfect polygamous marriage, but then sign on and just agree and go along and get along with such a big project. And now when it's all falling apart, now y'all want to act surprised or basically want to have you want me to have some type of sympathy for you. I'm like, y'all wasn't in a happy marriage. The only one that probably was in a happy marriage, who's probably not happy now, but was Robyn. You get what I'm saying? So, and then on top of that, Robyn's like, well, basically Kody's like, I'm staying at Robyn's house. So basically, if my name was on every plot of land and I'm with Robyn, that basically put one of the sister wives above all the other ones. So that's why I don't understand why they didn't see the math that way. I think Christine saw the math that way at that time, and she was very combative during that time. And combative not in a bad way, but in a way to where it's like, talk about it more. Explain it to me again, because I'm just not gonna go along to get along. And that's why I can see why Christina is like, when she got married and she left, she said, have at it. I don't care. Have my plot. Do whatever you want to do with it. Because at the end of the day, Kody rigged the game, not blindly. He rigged the game to where he wins at the end, no matter what happens.
That is so true. So they move on to the topic of Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, in polygamy, it's kind of hard to choose which wife you're going to take out for Valentine's Day. So what they would do is throw a big party, including the wives and the kids. Kody, we saw a clip where the kids like decorated the car, and it really, to me, it seemed like it was a Valentine's Day for Kody.
Yeah, pretty much.
The way that it appeared, but maybe Kody did do some small things for them. They move on to talking about affection and showing affection in front of each other. Robyn always thought it was a mistake that they didn't show affection for each other in front of each other, because those small gestures of putting your hand on the back of your wife, or a kiss, or fixing of the hair, makes people feel more comfortable and unified in their relationships and more secure. But they were always allowed to show their anger and their jealousy on display, but when it came to the actual love, that was something that had to be hidden in order to prevent the other wives from getting jealous. And a lot of the wives, I think Christina and Meri were kind of like, if you were in a good place and seeing Kody show affection to another wife, it didn't really bother you. But if you were in a bad place, it would be insulting. And Christine and Kody were in a bad place a lot of the time.
90% of the
So
time.
she was very bothered by that.
Yeah.
Then there was a small conversation talking about kissing. Robyn kissed Kody at the end of or when he proposed to her, but Christine and Kody, their first kiss was on their wedding day. They talked about how that wasn't really a great idea. It was kind of awkward, and they both agreed for the next wife, he would be able to kiss her sooner. But when it happened, Christine was upset.
Like I said, you had a mole inside the camp, right? And the mole was Christina. I'm not blaming Christina now, right? Because I don't think Christina really knew who she was at the time when she agreed to be part of the sister wife tribe, right? Whole time, you don't go from the whole, I guess I'm a sister wife and things of that nature. Yes, I would be part of this tribe, and then all of a sudden you're just totally against it. Like I mean, completely against the whole church, the whole religious aspect of it, the whole thing about it, especially if she came from a family of it, right? So the whole idea that Christine is basically like, well, if you're in a bad place, like, of course I would be upset about it, or it can rub people the wrong way. Now, here's the thing about it with Christine specifically. Kody contributed a lot of times to Christina's bad place and things like that. Saying things like, I'm not attracted to you. Saying things like basically going in on her physical appearance and things of that nature. That can put someone in a very insecure place to where they don't feel secure within the whole tribe of polygamous marriage, right? Now, off top, I feel like polygamy cannot work.
Yeah,
and
same.
And Kody is a prime example of why it can't work. He's a bad trailblazer, if he is one, right? But the whole idea that I go back to that episode where during the holidays, Meri goes over to Robyn and Kody's house, right? During that time, Kody says, I don't touch Robyn during that time. I try not to basically make it. I try to be respectful. Like, okay, Meri knows I hate her, but I don't need to rub her nose in it and things of that nature. I try to be respectful. But then I hear Robyn here saying that she feels like affection should always have been shown, right? Of course, it feels that way when you're the favorite wife, right? And I feel like hearing that, when she said that, it brought me back to that scene. So you would have want to, if Meri was there, knowing what you knew that Meri was going through, Robyn, right? You would have still wanted Kody to be affectionate towards you. Like that seems kind of like rubbing the nose in it. Like that seems kind of shady and passive aggressive in a way. You already know. That's why I don't really understand. Like, by her saying that, Robyn, you already know out of all the wives, maybe Janelle was a close second. you was the favorite one out of all of them. So when it comes to affection and like basically time spent, you wasn't missing out on that. So you basically saying, I wish that we could show affection and things like that. I think it would have meant more if you would have said it more in the sense of he would have showed it for them. Yeah. Like, you was already the favorite. What more affection did you need? What did, like, you get out of the scene?
Yeah, I felt like, number one, I want to start at the Valentine's Day thing. I feel like for Valentine's Day, you want to make your partner feel special. And I think that when you do have kids, there is a way to loop them into it. But we can't split up the week to where everybody gets a Valentine's Day. I don't know. I feel like everyone should feel special and loved. And then for us to just throw a big party to where it feels very platonic, that's not helping to like pour cachet, into the individual relationships romantically. I feel like
maybe,
I feel like there's probably more opportunities that Kody could have taken to make each wife feel secure. But I do think that it is up to the individual of they feel jealousy or whatever the case may be to manage that, talk to Kody about it, work on their sister wives relationships. But I think for some people it's too much, which is why I believe Christine when she says that she's not a polygamist, because she probably never was, if we're being honest, because when she's talking about this whole kissing situation to where she recommended if he courts somebody else and they can kiss sooner, and then when it actually happens, she was upset about it. I get it. Emotions are not always rational, if they're ever rational. But I do think that if you are in a polygamous relationship, then you have the respect in knowing that each person is going to have their own love story as long as it abides by your agreements, which Kody and Christine made an agreement. And I just don't think that Christine could control her jealousy, being that I feel like she wanted to be the last wife. Then when we start talking...
Hold on real quick. Going with the Valentine's Day thing.
Sure.
I feel like as a polygamous marriage, y'all shouldn't be celebrating Valentine's Day.
At all?
No.
Oh.
Why? Like, literally, like, Valentine's Day, for one, I don't believe in Valentine's Day, personally, right?
We do celebrate, though.
Right. I don't celebrate it. We just go out to eat. Okay. But I don't, I seriously, I think it's stupid. It's a money grab. I literally see prices go from something that will cost $20, go to $80, $90. It's a stupid thing. I don't believe in it. I don't celebrate it, right? But the whole idea that he has 4 wives and he has to try to make each of them feel special, I would think within their religious in their religious church that they don't celebrate those holidays. So like that's why I'm like, why would y'all put so much attention on that holiday? Yeah. When y'all just coming off of Christmas and things like that, if y'all celebrated that, and use that as a tool to try to grow your love and things like that, where it's harder for y'all. Yeah. It's harder for people to do it with one person. Why would y'all even elect to basically celebrate Valentine's Day? That's what I was thinking. Like, why would y'all even do that? But, it is what it is.
And then for the affection piece, I feel like that's just a tricky line. I feel like each individual is going to feel differently about it, and you can't make everybody happy. But I do think that if you are able to show anger in the household, then you should be able to show love and affection. I think it's important for the children to see love and affection and how marriages, relationships operate, so they can see the full spectrum. I don't think it's fair to hide it and only allow those things in privacy, but I do think that is another way that it could break apart the family. But that's why I don't think polygamy is a real thing that can work. So
yeah. And Kody wasn't a good example of it anyway.
Yeah.
Cody's default emotion is anger
and defensiveness.
So it wasn't going to work either way.
Yeah. And then there was the conversation about spiritual divorce or not. So we know that Meri went to get the spiritual divorce, and Janelle, she felt like she didn't need to. Well, she holds on to a lot of her faith and her belief. Yeah. And she's thinking maybe if I do get a new marriage, I might have to go forward with that, but she's not quite ready to do that. And then with Christine, we see that she has her own faith and belief with God, and she talked to God about it. They squared it away. She don't have to go to the church to get a release. So how are you feeling about the need for a spiritual release for this polygamous marriage?
Based off of them, I think, for one, even them getting divorced or spiritual divorce is confusion. just as confusion as their actual marriage were.
Yeah.
Right? The whole idea that one feel like they have to go to the spiritual advisor or like the church to get a divorce. One feels like I'm going to hold on to it. I'm good, but I'm not with Kody. The other one feel like I ain't got to do nothing. I'm out. It just shows that, hold on, did y'all even believe in this thing? Like what is y'all beliefs?
Right.
Because it's not even, let's take Kody out of it. What is your beliefs? What do you believe in? You know what I'm saying? And Christine, to give her bail to get out of jail, I think she just don't believe in that at all anymore. So she's like, if I don't believe in it, then I don't really believe in the whole I have to get permission to leave or the whole spiritual release thing of it. I'm just going to go and get a real legal marriage. And then, because truth be told, like, there's no thing that says that I'm married to Kody by paper anyway. So I'm just going to go, right? So that's why it just shows that, hey, y'all can't even agree on what is the proper steps of a spiritual release and things like that. Truth be told, I only respect the marriage that he is legally married to, in the sense of Robyn. None of y'all wasn't attending the church, still does, or anything like that. So I don't even understand why you would go to the church if it's even, hopefully, well, not hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if it's been disbanded or like whatever it is. I don't even know who you go to. You end up going to somebody's house and somebody like, yeah, I haven't been a minister in 9 years. So that's why I'm like, just go. I think it's easier to just go. The reason why I take Meri's side a little differently, because I feel like Meri is the one that says I'm leaving, but she's walking slowly towards the door.
Right.
And things
Looking
like that.
back.
I think she's using this spiritual release as a way to basically say, Kody, I'm about to do it. And even trying to get Kody like, hey, should we go talk to somebody? I'm like, Meri, you don't even know how to be free when you are free. Like Kody saying, I don't want to date you. I don't want to go to an anniversary with you. I don't want to do anything with you. I help you move because that will give me the facts that you're gone. That's the only thing I help you do. But Meri is kind of like trying to do whatever she can in any way to try to tether herself to Kody or even this past marriage. That's why I'm like, y'all haven't been married legally for the longest time. But I see it more for Meri in the sense of using it as an excuse to be around.
Yeah, I think that they should, when they get divorced, I think they should go through with the spiritual release.
You think so?
And the reason I think that is because if the spiritual marriage was a real marriage to you and doing it before the church, then I think that you need a clean break. And I think that for Meri's case, she needed that clean break because if somebody didn't tell her you are divorced, then she would be hopscotching back and forth over that line, you know? However, I don't fault Christine for just going about it the way that she wants to. That's perfectly fine. But I think that if you actually value the ceremony and the marriage for what it was, then I would say, why not get released in the same way, you know?
I guess.
But for Janelle, which I don't know why she's never said this, and I don't know if maybe her particular branch of Mormonism is different, but when I watched Salt Lake City, Utah, one of the ladies was saying how their faith was that the only way you can get into a heaven is if you are married. Yeah. And so I'm wondering, is that why Janelle is still keeping Kody as her husband and not going through with any type of like formal separation? Because
basically a whole Essex pass to heaven or whatever.
Right, because she still, you know, believes in the faith and she still wants to have that access into heaven. So
yeah, I think all of it is an excuse to just not face the reality of your failure of polygamy. Yeah. Right. Janelle is the one, even though I agree with Christine, but not in Christine's way of doing it, to where Janelle, you need to basically get away from it, like do whatever you have to do. Like basically Christine wanted to basically expedite Janelle's process to where she could basically catch up to where she is. Right. Basically like, anyway, Kody, why are you still talking to Kody and things like that? Even though I agree with the sentiment, I'm not agreeing with the actual practice of it. Some people got to go through their own steps and things like that. But Janelle always been the type to be slow foot to something. Right. Not slower than Meri. But Janelle needs to see it for Janelle first. You can't make Janelle see it for like I can't force her to see what I see. Correct. She's strong-willed in that way. She was the one that was only working, so she has a strong will about her.
Living on Coyote Pass and
exactly. So with her, she feels like, number one, I put in my whole life savings and investment in this, so I'm gonna see it to the end or until I feel 100% good with myself with letting it go, because some people can't give their whole life investment to it and then just walk away from it. They got to feel comfortable walking away from it.
Yeah, and that's all I got.
Listen here, we found something to talk about in 2 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Will we find something to talk about in the third week? I'm not making no promises, but subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let us know what y'all thought about these main points in this episode. We see y'all.
Bye.